Hey, so I had a new experience. Let's see, today is Thursday. Just a minute. Okay, Thursday. I think it's like the 23rd, maybe? Yeah, 23rd of April 2026. Hey, took me a minute. And last Monday, about 1 in the morning, 1 or 2 in the morning, I got a big stomach ache. And I don't really have a whole lot of problems with like super painful gas. In the past I did, like maybe 10 years ago, and I had my gallbladder removed because it was a mess. And I mean, I've had a little bit, but not like bad. Anyways, this was really bad. And I thought maybe I had food poisoning and I was trying to figure out what strange thing did I eat. And I thought, well, maybe, I don't know. I was just trying to come up with things that could possibly, maybe I had the flu. And it was like my whole gut area was just shooting pain and sensitive. At first it started dull and it got bad pretty fast. Moving around hurt. And then, but I was convinced I was just sick. And so then the next day, it all moved. And being a Gen Xer, there's things we know about. We know about rabid dogs and appendicitis and quicksand. There was some kind of fascination with those things. Anyways, so one of the things about appendicitis that I always heard is that if it's on the lower right side, you probably should have it looked at because that might be the case and you can die. All right. Yeah, so this all migrated to the right side, lower right side. My whole belly was sore, but the shooting pain was like a ball in that area, a big ball in that area. So I'm thinking no, because I used to actually always think I could get appendicitis and I also thought I would always see a rabid dog and fall in quicksand. Anyways, I finally got over that. So I'm like, no, it's just gas. And I figured I should have a fever, I should have diarrhea, and should be vomiting. Now on Tuesday, my bowels did empty out. However, I also have irritable bowel. And that's the thing, is that my irritable bowel for many, many, many years was the cycle kind. I would have, most days would be the runs, then I'd have a normal day, then I have a constipated day, and then I'd go back to the runs. So, and I've had a colonoscopy, and that was probably the best thing I ever had as far as procedures done, because it turns out that the doctors and medical staff, at least at where I had mine in Stevens Point, actually really loved poopy jokes and would tell them themselves and then laugh, and they would just all laugh, and it was like probably the most joyful place I've ever been, strangely. And then as far as for the procedure, I was asleep. I had the amnesia drug. So and I was clean and everything. So I've been not worried about having diverticuli or whatever that, things like that. Stuff that I grew up hearing about as well, because I used to be in a health multi-level marketing company. And we had a guy named Dr. Schultz join and sell his products, and he basically made everyone paranoid of having something wrong with their bowels, and so we had to clean them constantly. And I think that might have contributed. Not that sometimes you don't need to make yourself poop or pull poisons out, like if you had some food poisoning. He's got some stuff, and I think that stuff's good, but I also think that there's a lot of scammy stuff going on. And I used to have a bowel movement like every other day, and he convinced us that we were supposed to have one after every major meal, which turns out is not true. And my system probably was fine. Anyways, I'm not saying that's where I got the irritable bowel, but I think it might have contributed to it. Anyways, so I got this pain, and let's see, Tuesday, my system, like, it wasn't my normal runs from, oh yeah, when I stopped having the runs almost a year ago now, is when I went on blood pressure medication. That's when, and I don't know for sure, because I haven't talked to my doctor about this yet, but I will. But from what I understand, that can be a side effect. So I haven't been real thrilled with not being able to flush my system out because I'm just kind of used to it being flushed out. All right, and I don't like being constipated. I mean, who does? And I took medication for the irritable bowel, so I had control over it. I didn't have to worry about going in my pants, you know, which is nice. The medicine helped with that, but the blood pressure medicine is kind of, I think it's the blood pressure medicine that stopped me up. And then I've been on steroids a couple times because of my eyes swelling up and shutting till they're shut. And that seems to be the only thing that fixes that. That's not good for your bowels either, from what I've looked up or researched. Not from being a professional who knows what they're talking about. So anyways, yeah, cleaned out on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, I'm not going at all. No bowel movement at all. And I'm eating very carefully. And I'm, you know, like what they say, the bananas, bananas, rice, applesauce, and bread. So I'm trying to be very careful. And broth, I had some broth. And I have had to work Thursday, and this is like Wednesday morning, and Tyler had an appointment he had to be at in the afternoon, so I thought, well, I'll just go to the emergency room, because sometimes going to the walk-in just doesn't work out. So I'll just go to the emergency room at the same time. But then I was like, if this is something bad, I should just go. So it was like around 9 or something in the morning. I had Kara take me to the emergency room, and I'm always sure they're just going to give me Gatorade and send me home. So, because that happened one time. Anyway, so I got in there, and they, you know, tell them what's going on. They do the little tests, the pee, the blood, and then they did a CT scan. Man, I could not hold my breath, but apparently I did good enough that it was fine. And mostly slept. One point they said my potassium was low. Another point, the lady was surprised that my oxygen was low, and I told her, well, I've been sleeping and I don't have my CPAP machine. And she's like, oh yeah, you have sleep apnea. I'm like, apparently. Anyways, and then finally the doctor comes in with the results from the scan, and he says, you have diverticulitis. I didn't expect that, and he didn't expect it either. He said, for one thing, usually the problem is on the left side, and mine was on the right side. And so I was put on, and I don't have to do surgery, thankfully. I really didn't want to do surgery because I need to work. And I don't think that would be possible if I had surgery for a while. So he put me on antibiotics and told me to take Tylenol every 5 hours, and of course, careful with the eating and all that for a while. And then sent me home. And, I did explain about, because they want to know if you're throwing up and having fevers. And I was not throwing up. I was not nauseous. I told them it is hard to tell when I'm having a fever because I never have a steady fever. I always have it's like wavy fever, you know. And that has caused problems before, because I'll have high fevers and they'll take my temperature and I'm perfectly normal, or like 1 degree high. My 1 degree high is like the normal because I run low. And then they're like, oh, you're fine. And I'm just like, if you wait 5 minutes, but they never do. Anyways, I didn't really, but I can feel the fever. I didn't really feel that. And, but then I looked up some stuff on diverticulitis, and it includes the same thing as appendicitis, which now that I think about it, or, after that, I thinking about it makes sense. So, which also includes vomiting and fever. And, so I guess my system's just like, I don't want to do that. Which is fine with me. It's fine. However, after talking to my kids about it, I think I had I don't know what happened, but I was nauseous for a little while, kind of after that. But it didn't turn into anything, which I'm perfectly fine with. So, yeah, so I just want to share that because I think it will help if people share their experiences with these things, so you know what could be going wrong with you. And, it's good that I visited the emergency room, because something like that can actually be really bad. Those things, if they get worse, they can burst, and then, you know, you've got, you know, well, it's deadly, just like appendicitis. Anytime your bowel bursts, it's bad, really bad. It can kill you. From what I understand from things I looked up online, which wasn't a lot, once you get to the hospital and they start you on the antibiotics, that slows things down and it gives them more time to figure out what is the next best thing to do. I didn't actually get any antibiotics till I picked up the prescription and got home. So apparently it was not something that was going to burst. But at the same time, like, it was better than letting it get worse. I don't really know how that all progresses. Yeah, so there's my new experience that I've never had before. Did not expect, but there you go. Oh, I do want to add that I will try to remember to either add to this video or do a part 2 once I talk to my doctor and hopefully learn more about this. I would love to see the x-ray. I don't know if she'll be able to show me that, but I just want to see it. I want to know what it looks like. Okay, I'll try to get back to you if I get more info.